At how much rainfall we've seen and give you the first alert for an unsettled weather pattern as we head towards the end of the week. Plus, we take you around the country to extreme weather events that happened over the weekend as some of those same areas prepare to see severe weather again over the coming days.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. I'm meteorologist Matt Daniel, filling in for Wes. He's out, and of course, Tania, new mom, so she's enjoying her time off right now. But thank you for joining us for Weather Extra. And we're going to talk about the next big thing, and that's the chance to see some storms perhaps by the end of the week. And I know around this time of the year, you're always wondering, does that mean we're going to see severe weather? Well, there is a chance we could see a couple of strong storms. That's what we're going to be breaking down over this upcoming half hour. Right now, we've been dry across central Alabama. We've just seen a few showers off to the south, but whoa, look at the active weather across the central United States. These red boxes that you see, those are tornado watches. The red polygons, those are tornado warnings, and anything you see shaded in yellow, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. So the severe weather has really been ramping up across Texas, Oklahoma, and then across the plains and into the Minneapolis area. So very active weather there. In fact, today they've got that moderate threat for severe storms in around the Minnesota area into Wisconsin, Iowa as well. The enhanced risk just around that, and then another enhanced risk across Texas and into Oklahoma. But this system is kind of a slow mover. We've got this ridge of high pressure kind of keeping us dry and protecting us from this active weather making its way in here. So as we go into tomorrow, the threat shifts just a little bit more to the east across the Great Lakes into the northeast. They have an enhanced risk out there. Western portions of New York State, and another enhanced risk out there for parts of Texas, and a slight risk right along that boundary. And then as we go into your Wednesday, the severe outlook is showing a slight risk for severe storms for parts of Dallas and Oklahoma, and a smaller risk. So notice the threat starts to decrease as this thing slowly makes its way off towards the east. And that's going to be the next big thing we're tracking, because by Thursday and Friday, that's when what's ever left of that system will be impacting us. I think for now, the highest threat we'll see is pockets of heavy rain and some lightning, and then maybe some strong winds and large hail, medium risk for that. Tornadoes in this particular setup, just not quite seeing it. We'll watch it, but it looks very low as most of the wind energy associated with this system may end up farther to our north. So our rain chances still looking pretty isolated, summer-like in ways for tomorrow and Wednesday, and then a good chance to see some scattered activity Thursday into Friday. And then we got that cold front moving through. And check out the humidity. These are dew points, measures the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. When you see those low to mid 60s, it feels a little muggy outside. But notice by the time we go into your Saturday, we're looking at those dew points dropping into the 50s. It is going to feel really nice just in time for the weekend. But as we prepare to close out the month of April, meteorologist Megan Thomas joins us now with a look at those rainfall totals and if we can expect those showers by the end of the month.
Now, after a really beautiful weekend, we are going to be looking at the next big thing that comes in later this week. By Wednesday, there's an off chance that you may see a shower in East Alabama, but we're tracking a pretty strong cold front that's going to be working its way on in through Thursday and then fades away on Friday. But look at the timeline, okay? So about 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon, scattered showers, thunderstorms develop from the north and from the west as the cold front drops in, and we're talking potentially some heavier downpours, some stronger gust of wind, in addition to that, maybe even some small hail. Once this boundary moves through, it does fade away and stall out. By Friday, we're looking at only isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms across the state, and we are going to be trending drier as we lead on in to the weekend. There is an off chance that there may be a stray shower hanging on Saturday morning, but I do think by the time the afternoon rolls around, we'll be back in the upper 70s and low 80s through the weekend. As far as rain goes for the next 7 days, we're looking at around a good ½ an inch of rain with this whole system. And we're getting close to the end of the month. In April, we have outdone ourselves for the amount of rain that we have received so far this month. Birmingham moved past the average. 5.08 is where we typically sit. We've now seen 5.15 inches of rain. Tuscaloosa, 3/4 of an inch above average for the month of April, and Anniston also above average with a total of 4.68 inches of rain. We will wrap up the month in just a couple days and we'll do final numbers then. That's a look again at the rain for the next 7 days.
All right, thank you so much, Megan, and make sure you use the code that you see right there on your screen to download the First Alert weather app from the Google Play or Apple App Store. You'll be able to stay up to date for the latest forecast for your area and get notifications for your exact location. Well, this comes as Pell City Park and Recreation has installed a new lightning and detection system to keep you and your family safe during severe weather. The system automatically notifies you when lightning is approaching, and your East Alabama reporter Reggie Kyle joins us now after talking with the park's athletic director about this system.
With the Pell City Sports Complex near water, athletic director Joy Morrow tells me this new system can help save your life. Now, Morrow describes this state-of-the-art lightning detection system as a game changer. He says it works by alarming the entire park with a siren when lightning is in the area. Morrow says this allows everyone located in the lake, the splash pad, or any of the fields to seek shelter before lightning arrives. A peri-weather system that's used in Hoover, Vestavia Hills, and Protective Life Stadium in Birmingham. Joy Morrow says it's about improving safety at the park for people who come to have a good time with their family.
It's something that we needed to upgrade. It's 2025. We need to come up with something state-of-the-art because of the safety, and that is our main goal down here. We go with 20 to 30 miles away. That way it gives us plenty of time. There are settings that can come closer or further away, but for us, that is a great time distance for us on the complex.
Now, Joey Morrow went on to say along with that siren, he along with his staff will be notified through an app on their phone. He says this system is now up and running. Your reporter in Pell City, I'm Reggie Kyle.
All right, thank you so much, Reggie. The severe threat shaping up after parts of southwest Oklahoma are cleaning up today after heavy rain triggered flash flooding in the area over the weekend. And this was the scene.
We lost everything. I think we've got some clothes that we can salvage that we're hanging up. We have maybe a few valuables that were high up in china cabinets, things like that, family heirlooms that we were able to save. But as far as anything that we're going to be able to use for a home, we lost everything.
And a different situation happening to our north after two wildfires. The Thompson Hollow and the Hammond's Rock fire have burned more than 2,700 acres across Pennsylvania. But weekend rainfall as well as firefighter efforts have helped to contain the blazes. The Thompson Hollow fire is 42% contained, and the Hammond's Rock fire is currently 92% contained. And coming up in 30 seconds, we'll continue to talk about what you can expect for your Tuesday and head to the ocean, where you talk about how coral reef bleaching is catching the attention of scientists. We'll be right back. All right, hey, it's early in this week, but why not go to the beach, right? If you can, do it. We're looking at tomorrow and Wednesday looking pretty quiet and dry. Of course, those temperatures at the water a little chilly for this time of the year, but they are starting to warm up. We're looking at temperatures near 80 tomorrow and then going into your Wednesday. And the 7-day forecast for that beach forecast looking pretty good for the next couple of days. That same system that Megan and I were talking about for the end of the week could be impacting the Gulf Coast Friday into Saturday, but hey, a little bit of rain is not going to slow you down if you're going to the beach, right? We're looking at temperatures hovering near 80 degrees and overnight lows in the 70s, and also seeing some upper 60s Saturday and Sunday mornings. So not too bad at all. But hey, as we head further into the ocean, scientists are noticing an alarming yet expected trend that is killing some of the most colorful habitats on the planet. Fox News' Ted Linner has more.
Large parts of the world's oceans are losing their color. The International Coral Reef Initiative says 84% of Earth's coral reefs have been bleached. It is the fourth global bleaching since 1998 and the worst event of its kind in recorded history.
It has to do with their relationship with photosynthetic algae. When the algae leave, what you see is the white skeleton of the coral underneath.
The global bleaching follows the warmest year on Earth, as droughts are creating severe heat waves across the planet.
The heat waves are such that they're an extra couple degrees higher than normal. It's just enough to throw the biology of the corals out of balance.
Some scientists say bleaching has been a common ocean occurrence over the last 50 years.
So this high amount of bleaching and likely mortality is not necessarily unsurprising.
While the report may not be surprising to coral experts, it does highlight the dire situation taking place in the world's oceans.
When they bleach, the coral begins to starve, it gets skinnier, and eventually dies. That leads to mass mortality over huge areas of ocean.
The fading colors across the globe are becoming the most visual impact of climate change.
You've got thousands and thousands of corals all turning white, and so it's kind of the poster child of climate change.
Scientists say keeping the coral reef safe can also help improve the rest of the planet.
It's more of what about the future of human civilization and our dependency on these ecosystems. And if we don't take care of our ecosystems, well, then there's a question about the future of our civilizations.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
And still ahead, we talk about those upcoming rain and possible storm chances for the end of the week. And we'll take it back to North Carolina, where relief efforts from Hurricane Helene continues, but this time in the water. We'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra. All right, feeling like summertime around here. Here's a look at some of those estimated high temperatures across the area. A little bit cooler today in East Alabama. We had some temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80, 84 here in Birmingham. This showing 88 at Tuscaloosa. That's for each hour that was observed. But in between that hour, we got the latest information from the National Weather Service. It actually tied your record high of 90 degrees set back in 1994. So 90 degrees in late April. Yeah, a little too early for that. Of course, typically we start seeing those 90s as we go into June and, of course, into the summer months. We're looking at those temperatures staying above average, though. Look at your weather headlines for the next several days with storms returning Thursday and Friday, and then that's going to be followed up with a really gorgeous, dry, and even cooler weekend going in for us. Right now, we're enjoying lots of sunshine. You know, we've been tracking to see if there's any isolated showers. Not seeing any right now. We're at 80 degrees. A little bit of a breeze, though, coming in from the southeast at 13 miles per hour. And we're also seeing some pretty quiet weather here in Oak Grove and Talladega County at 76 degrees. So let's show you what's happening right now with those temperatures. We're mainly right around 80 degrees, mid 80s in Tuscaloosa still, and holding into the 70s there in East Alabama. And as we take a look at the future or our current radar, we're looking at First Alert AccuTrack showing us dry, just not seeing any rain across that area. And as we zoom out, you can see most of us are looking good. So if you're going out this evening walking the dog, we're looking at near 80 by 7 o'clock, by 8 o'clock 77, cooling down to lower 70s by 10 p.m. And then by tonight, we'll wake up with temperatures in the mid 60s. So another mild start to your Tuesday. Now, if you're heading out the door tomorrow, I wouldn't worry too much about rain, but just note, I do think we'll see a pop-up shower storm. That rain chance only at 20 though. So looking mostly dry and warm with high temperatures in the mid 80s. And if you're going to the Barons game tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock against Pensacola, looking pretty good. 82 degrees, cooling down to 75 by 9 o'clock. So future radar just showing a mix of sunshine and cloud cover with temperatures near 80 tomorrow at noon. And there you go. If we see a small rain chance tomorrow, it's going to be in East Alabama. So just want to give you that first alert for a pop-up shower or storm. And then as we go into Tuesday evening, any of that activity developed should dissipate once the sun begins to set. As I was mentioning, the impacts for Thursday and Friday, mainly heavy rain and lightning along with some gusty winds. That's the next big thing we're tracking. Notice those showers and storm chances increasing Thursday evening, and it may stay with us going into Friday afternoon and evening as well. Behind the system, we may see a lingering shower Saturday morning, but by Saturday afternoon, that dry air is going to filter in, and it's going to feel really nice going into the weekend. 7-day forecast looking like this, a small rain chance tomorrow and a Wednesday. First alert for those storms, and then check out the weekend. We're going to see highs, I think, in the mid to upper 70s, and you may need that jacket as well as temperatures begin to cool down into the lower 50s. Wouldn't even surprise me if we saw some upper 40s in a few spots. Well, we first brought you the story of nearly 5 million cubic yards of debris being removed from those areas impacted from Hurricane Helene last week on First Alert Weather Extra. And since then, nearly 300,000 pounds of debris were removed, but this time from the river. Karen has more on this.
In between the rocks and rapids of the French Broad River, signs of Helene still sit in the water. Piles of pipes that Mountain True says their crews have been working tirelessly to clear out.
These plastic pipes that were coiled up have come loose, and they're intertwined into our log jams. It's a pretty big environmental disaster that we're picking up one piece at a time right now.
Mountain True says most of the pipes came from IPEX, formerly Silverline Plastics, which sits on Riverside Drive. They say their crews have removed thousands of feet by hand, then have to haul it off by boat, one load at a time. They say they just want IPEX to take responsibility for the mess and do their part to help.
From the area in Woodfin, where the Silverline plastic facility is downstream, all the way into essentially Lake Douglas and beyond, there's extensive amounts of PVC plastic. That is taking up a great deal of time of our paid workforce.
A spokesperson for IPEX told us in a statement, "We remain committed to actively securing and collecting any pipes and materials that washed off property. This effort is ongoing, and restoring the surrounding community remains a priority for us." Meanwhile, downed trees cover places like Huff Island, also on the French Broad, with mounds of trash, pipes, tires, and other hazards as well. For months, the Army Corps of Engineers has been working one waterway at a time, using heavy machinery to get out the big stuff, while these paid crews, along with volunteers, are trying to clear out everything else.
We are at it until the last bag of trash comes off these rivers.
So far, Mountain True says they've removed nearly 300,000 pounds of trash by hand, like these piles of tires and bins of twisted metal.
So far, we have not found anything, really scary in any of the rapids. And the places where there were some things like in actual current that people would be in, for the most part, we have been able to get out of the way.
It's work that began back in November here in this stretch with Blue Heron Whitewater.
We've had a lot of runs. We've been out there a lot, gotten to see the river a lot, and it looks incredibly different, you know, for anybody who's spent a lot of time here, but the actual rapids are largely the same.
Co-owner Fritz Johnson says it's hard, but it's important, not just for the health of the river, but also for the business that flows through it.
I mean, we're optimistic, but it is a little bit of a guess at this point, but we're definitely optimistic.
These crews hope others will realize that portions of the French Broad like this one are safe and back open to enjoy this summer.
I think that Asheville and the outfitting community at large is ready to have people come back.
Whew, tough stuff for them. I'm glad they're getting better and getting improved. And looking ahead beyond the 7-day for us here locally, I was mentioning that we may see a brief cool down going into the weekend. Just to give you a perspective, our average high for this time of year is about 78 degrees. So the big question is, what's going to happen as we go into beyond the 7-day? Well, here's a look at the temperature outlook. This is going to May 6th through May 12th. And when you're looking at these red colors, the darker the red, the more confidence there is of temperature staying above average. So notice for us here in the southeast, we've got a 50% chance of seeing the temperatures above average. So in other words, if our average high in that time period is about 80 degrees, we may be above that. And our average low is usually in the upper 50s. We may be warmer than that as well. So it looks like the trend of above average temperatures may stick around as we go into the first half of May. What about rainfall? Of course, sometimes it can get pretty stormy, but it looks like the setup is this. The active weather may end up remaining across Texas and across the central United States, and we may actually see odds of seeing below average precipitation or rainfall as we go into that time period of May 6th through May 12th. So it doesn't say we can't see a few showers or storms at different times. It's just the odds are a little bit lower that we may not see much in the way of some rainfall. Of course, we're going to keep a close eye on that as we get into the month of May. And usually as we get closer to May and June, those tornado threats that we see usually shifts a little bit more to the north and west. And for us, it just becomes more of a summer-like pattern. Well, we'll be right back with a final check on weather and take a look at some of your photos right after the break. Stay with us. right, we are taking a look at your photos that you sent through the First Alert Weather app. Terrell James Farm at Holly Pond sent this beautiful photo in. And then we've got Stance D. Bowers. These are the flowers on Duggar Mountain. Beautiful right there. Thanks for sending that photo in. Kaylee Doucette. Yes, giving us a sunset and those clouds. That's really pretty right there. Loving that photo there. And then we've got Michelle Cargile, sunrise. Gorgeous view there with the mix of some sun and clouds. And then check this one out. Adam Chandler, a double rainbow in Clanton. Must have had a little shower nearby when that occurred. And then Ross sent this in with sun and clouds in Oxford. So just gotta love Mother Nature, gotta love those sunrises and sunsets. And of course, if you got any of those photos, feel free to submit them through the WBRC First Alert Weather app. And hey, for the next couple of days, if you get a random shower or storm, maybe you'll get a rainbow too if it happens later on in the evening hours. The rain chances, as we were talking about, still relatively isolated in nature. So for a majority of us, we're gonna stay dry tomorrow and then going into your Wednesday. I think the best chance to see a pop-up shower or storm will be in East Alabama for both Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon. But do want to give you that first alert. Better chance for scattered showers and storms returning Thursday evening into Thursday night, and we may see those storm chances continue into Friday afternoon. It's not going to be non-stop rain. We'll have breaks from the rain, but just know there is a threat. We could see a couple of strong storms with some gusty winds, heavy rain, frequent light, and maybe some small hail. These storms will continue into Friday afternoon, evening, and some of the models are hinting it may slow down and we may see a lingering rain chance early Saturday. But right now, I think most of the rain should move out. By Saturday afternoon, we'll see decreasing clouds, northerly winds, drier air, and how about mid-70s for Saturday and Sunday? And you may need that jacket as well going into Sunday morning and again on Monday. Well, that wraps up Weather Extra. Thanks for joining us this evening. Make sure you tune in at 9 o'clock. We'll have a lot more news and weather there. Have a fantastic Monday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your day off. I'll miss you. Enjoy your time off. Bye. All right, do you hear me? Is my microphone on or off? I don't even know. It is on. Okay, let me put my mic back on. All right. All right. All right, let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Happy Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Matt Daniel, and we're talking about a chance for a pop-up shower or maybe storm. As we go into your Tuesday afternoon, we'll see temperatures warming up into the mid-80s. I think we see an isolated shower or storm likely happening in the eastern portions of the state. So just want to give you that first alert. Most of us remaining dry and a little muggy. And as we go into Tuesday evening, temperatures will be cooling down into the 70s. And that'll be great for some Barons baseball up against Pensacola at Regions Field. We're looking at 6 o'clock. It's when it begins, 82 degrees. There could be a stray shower, but hopefully we'll stay dry, and we'll see those temperatures cooling down to the mid-70s by 9 p.m. The next big thing we're going to be tracking is the chance for some scattered showers and storms Thursday and a Friday. Pretty good chance, a high chance we're going to see some pockets of heavy rain and lightning, and there's a medium chance we could see some gusty winds and maybe some large hail. If you're worried about tornadoes, just don't see it as much with this setup. Most of the wind energy that you would need to support an isolated tornado will likely remain just to our north, but we'll still watch it as we get closer to Thursday and Friday. The next big thing is those showers and storms develop Thursday evening and Thursday night, and then this front kind of stalls in place. So we will likely see another round of showers and storms for your Friday afternoon and evening. But by the time we go into the weekend, we got some drier air filtering in, and I think this weekend looking pretty nice with some sunshine returning, especially for Saturday afternoon into Sunday. We could see highs in the 70s and lows maybe Sunday morning as cool as the lower 50s. So enjoy.